As you might guess, plenty of voicemails. So let's head to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
I heard you guys talking and saying the Browns got to get the quarterback right, and that's all it is. Well, is it the quarterback or is it our scheme? Everybody will turn around and say Stefanski's this big quarterback guru. Well, what's to say the quarterback ain't never going to be any good under him? Yeah, he's done what he does with 5 guys, but again, you look back at last year, we won 5 games, we got lucky. And then look at the playoff game, we got totally demolished. If I was Haslam, I don't know why he didn't wait this year, see what these 2 idiots do, and then get rid of them. But no, he turns around and gives them 5-year extension. I mean, you got to look at everything. I still think with him as coach, we're not going anywhere. We'll never get a quarterback. My opinion. Thanks, guys.
As always, appreciate all the voicemails. They changed the scheme. And so is it the quarterback? Yep. Is it the scheme? Yep. And the thing that I can't explain and nobody's been able to explain to me, you have basically the same offensive line. And they can't block anymore. They can't move people off the line of scrimmage. To me, that screams scheme. It was also the quarterback. The quarterback play has been bad. It's been really bad.
Yeah, you'd like to be able to separate those two things, but they're married together because you changed your scheme to fit a quarterback. Then that quarterback couldn't even run that scheme. So it becomes this ugly cycle that goes back and forth. And what's interesting to me is since you switched off play calling duties from Stefanski to Dorsey, just by switching in the quarterback, this still looks a lot more like a Stefanski offense than it ever did with Deshaun Watson. And that was my biggest issue for wanting to replace Watson is I could not even evaluate what I was watching because you had a quarterback who couldn't see the field, make his reads, or pull the trigger. So just by implementing a guy who will at least do those 3 things, you kind of get a sense for what this scheme is and what it isn't. So it didn't even look similar with Watson. It was so disjointed and broken. So now we can actually start to evaluate that over these 8 games. And that, to me, that's what this is these 8 games is you need to decide your offensive direction in 2025. And I wouldn't have handed play calling duties to Dorsey at that point in time just because I don't like changing a bunch of variables at once. But now understand this. Dorsey is being evaluated. The spotlight is on him now, and they're going to decide whether they want to move forward with him and this scheme going forward. So it's going to be on his lap to get this thing to go now.
Yeah, I've seen enough. I give me the Kevin Stefanski scheme, and let's assuming that he's still there, and that might be an incorrect assumption, but assuming it's still Kevin Stefanski, let's go back to the old under center play action. We know what we can get out of that. I can't for the life of me explain why the offensive line. It's got to be more than Bill Callahan's gone. I understand he's a great offensive line coach, but you went from top 5 to bottom 5 because your coach left. That can't happen. There's got to be something more to it than that. Has to be.
Yeah, the offensive line's a weird one too because I think it's a lot of things. The scheme is definitely chief among those. I think they undervalued how quick this group would age out. Obviously, they misevaluated the injury situation. And there's been a regression from one player that doesn't get talked about enough, in Ethan Pocic. It's like, I don't even know who that player is now. And now, is that Callahan? That very well could be. He was getting that much out of Ethan Pocic to the point now where I don't even recognize the player. So a lot of factors, but yes, this scheme is chief among those factors.